Yeah, we came too far. In the darkest days, don't know where we are or who we are. Yeah, we came too far. In the darkest days, don't know where we are or who we are. Yeah, we came too far. In the darkest days, don't know where we are or who we are. Yeah, we came too far. In the darkest.
What up, y'all? Planet of Fakes Hollywood, and this video is just to show people 3 reasons why Lil Tim, aka Timothy Leeks, the alleged King Von killer, should and could walk. Yes, he could and he should walk, based on 3 simple reasons. You know what I mean? And a lot of people may disagree, but I want to show y'all the 3 reasons. And if he's found guilty with these 3 reasons, it only could be a few things. Who shot first? Who initiated it? If he doesn't, who initiated it? But what we can see is he may walk. Who initiated it, and based on him being afraid for his life. Yeah, if he was afraid for his life, he may walk, y'all. On everything I love, he may walk. And this video is going to show you how. 3 reasons why he may walk. Planet of Fakes Hollywood, Lil Tim, aka the King Von Killer. 3 reasons he might win his case. With that being said, what you heard and saw was the content. For additional content, click the link in the description. Like, follow, share, subscribe, comment, hit the bell, visit my community wall, and if you have time, go to www.amore-eka.com/TV. That's our Planet of Fakes too. We are the new umbrella planet. This is the first reason Timothy Leeks may win his case. The first reason Timothy Leeks may win his case is because he may not have initiated the aggression. If there's proof that King Von or somebody with King Von initiated the aggression, that's one reason Little Tim should be able to walk. That's just one reason. One reason right there. And let me show you what I found. Alright, so this is the video that I have found. And this could be considered a nail in the coffin. That's King Von on stage in the hookah lounge right before he gets shot. You see him pointing? Well, he's pointing to somebody that had on one of his enemy's shirts. Yeah, and I think it was like a 6'3" shirt, and Little Tim is supposed to be allegedly with the 6'3" gang or 4'3" gangs. I know it got 3s in it. So this is what he did. I actually picked the wrong one. I don't want 2 watermarks. Alright, I'm not going to be able to help the watermarks. But anyway, remember what I just said. One reason Little Tim may walk is who starts the aggression. Now, let's see and listen to what King Von has to say. Said, and if you didn't hear him, he said he sees a fuck ninja with a, I guess, 6'3" shirt back there, and that right there is an act of aggression. Now, whether he's performing or not, he's on the mic. So the fact that he's on the mic, the club is now responsible because he just said something that could endanger that customer. Now, if he pointed to somebody that was with Little Tim, and then as they was leaving, somebody, attacked them based on what King Von said, he could walk. And it's just their luck that not only did King Von say that, but King Von is on recording attacking somebody that is down with that organization. So that's the first reason Little Tim may walk. Who initiated the aggression? And there go a receipt that King Von did something that could be considered initiating the aggression. Let's listen again. stop. Let's do it. Alright, so based on that, if he pointed to where Little Tim was, but the fact he said the organization, that's kind of enough. That's kind of enough. Like, say they worked for NASCAR, and he had a problem with NASCAR, and said, yo, I see you fuck NASCAR dudes back there, and then later you see him fighting with a NASCAR dude, it would be considered King Von initiated the aggression against NASCAR. No different here. So that was reason one.
Back to that breaking news live from Chopper 2, a mass shooting. At least 6 people shot. This all happening at 65th and King Drive in Parkway Gardens.
The age ranges of those people ranging from 14 to 23 years old.
If they from here, don't come here, please don't.
His name is Davon Bennett, a.k.a. King Von. He's been on the street for too long. I want him off the street today.
Planet of the Fakes Hollywood. And Pigstar HH News. Savannah man charged with murder in Chicago rapper King Von's death. A Savannah man has been charged with murder in the fatal shooting of Chicago rapper King Von in Atlanta Friday morning. Timothy Leeks, 22, was charged with felony murder after the Atlanta Police Department secured warrants on Saturday, according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Leeks graduated from Jenkins High School in 2016 and also played varsity football for the school. In August, the Savannah Police Department charged Leeks with attempt or conspiracy to violate the Georgia Controlled Substance Act, theft by receiving stolen property, and obstruction after an investigation led to the seizure of guns, more than 15 pounds of marijuana and nearly $16,000. He was one of 5 arrested in the investigation. King Von was an upcoming rapper from the city of Chicago who released his first debut studio album Welcome to A Block on Oct. 30. He was signed to other famous Chicago rapper, Lil Durk's Off or Only, the Family Entertainment label. A preliminary investigation indicates that on Friday, Davon Bennett, aka King Von, and a group of men, left the Opium nightclub and went to the Monaco Hookah Lounge on 255 Trinity Avenue, according to a press release from the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. Once there, 2 men approached the group in the parking lot, and the 2 groups of men started to argue with each other. The argument quickly escalated to gunfire. Atlanta Police Department officers, off-duty and on-duty, responded. 2 officers fired shots at 2 locations. 6 men were shot during the group altercation and officer encounter. Bennett and 2 men died as a result of their injuries, and 3 were injured and are being treated at a hospital. Mr. Leeks is in police custody at Grady Hospital where he is undergoing treatment for a gunshot wound, Atlanta Police spokeswoman Marla Jean Rooker told ACT.com. The homicide of Bennett is closed with this arrest. Thank you very much. Go to www.amer-eca.com.
Police have made an arrest in the shooting death of Chicago-born rapper King Von. Davon Bennett, known as King Von, was outside of a club in Atlanta when the shooting happened. Officers say 2 groups of people were arguing before someone fired shots. 22-year-old Timothy Leeks is now in police custody on a felony murder charge.
So basically, I showed y'all the first reason. The second reason Little Tim may walk, it's not hard, it's not rocket science, none of that, is the club had an obligation to keep him safe. So if his lawyers could prove that the club was negligence based on allowing NBA YoungBoy to say what he said to who he said it to, that club is liable because they were supposed to check King Von and make King Von apologize. You know, especially if it endangered one of their customers' life. So if while he was in that club, and you know, King Von said that, and if that fight stemmed from what King Von said, the club is liable. We already seen this happen with Jasmine Elin. Remember, they were trying to sue the club for allowing somebody to get raped, allegedly. Remember, that's Georgia. So if Dominic Williams could get charged for a rape that they have no proof of, rape kit didn't say it, but just because people believed it happened in the club, he could sue the club if he was harmed based on something that happened in the club. And the fact that, again, King Von said that on the mic using club equipment. If what he said led to that fight, using the club's equipment, the club is liable. Yep, the club is liable. No different than screaming fire in a crowded club. You causing a reaction that got somebody harmed. Him saying op, fuck nigga shirt, all that. You saying something to cause somebody harm. That's the second reason Little Tim may walk. The club. The club was supposed to check King Von, and not only that, secure his safety. If he wanted to, escort him to the car. But the fact that King Von not only said it on their equipment, but then was engaged in a physical altercation himself, it says a lot for security. Now think about it. How Tim get to King Von? King Von had to come to Tim. Because King Von got his goons, he got club security, he got off-duty police there. And speaking of off-duty police, this is why he may walk. Remember, the original story that came out was police shot King Von. So it really depends on who they arrested, because they didn't arrest Tim. So think about it. If Tim was the aggressive and he shot first, police would have, what? Shot him to neutralize him. But he didn't get shot by police. He got shot more than likely by somebody with King Von. That's what made him pull out a gun and shoot. Second, he wasn't the aggressive. Don't you notice police took credit at first for the shooting of King Von? If we find out some of King Von people got shot and those bullets belong to the police, think about it. The police is working off duty at that lounge. If they shot King Von people, that's evidence that more than likely King Von people were the aggressors and started it. The off-duty police seen it. And as this guy's getting whisked away or jumped outside, the off-duty police jump to action. They see who the aggressors is. Those aggressors pull out guns. They shoot at those aggressors. Because remember, King Von people had got hit. I only heard about Timmy getting hit. I ain't hear nobody else with Tim getting hit. So if King Von people got hit, that's proof that Tim didn't start the aggression. Second proof, because we already said something on the mic. We got past that. We outside now determining that the police shooting, whoever the police shot, may have been considered the aggressors. Not only that, they had a right to defend themselves based on what King Von said, and also the fact that he said something, and they're fighting with them outside. There's no way Tim and them could get to them. VIP, security, fans, groupies. King Von had to go to them based on you not only performing, but you coming outside to attack a customer. That's the second reason Little Tim could walk. Alright, what up, y'all? Planet of Fake Hollywood, and this is the third reason Lil Tim, aka Timothy Leeks, might be able to win his case. The third reason is Georgia is a stand your ground state. And the fact that it's a stand your ground state, and more than likely King Von isn't a native, he should have stand your ground rights, regardless if he's a convicted felon or not. They gotta prove where that gun came from. You understand? And if he feared for his life, got shot second, not only did he get jumped, he got shot. So depending on the chronological order of who shot, if Little Tim got shot first, because we obviously see him pull the gun while he's on the floor after him being shot. We don't see him with a gun shoot somebody, then somebody shoot him, then he shoot again and shoot somebody else. We don't see that happen. We see King Von rushing him, fighting him. Then we see him on the floor shooting. Not only that, with police present, he was able to get up, get in a car, and get transported to a hospital. So the third reason is they're stand your ground. And I'm going to let you hear how Georgia got stand your ground. Then I'm going to also let you hear why they're trying to charge him with murder. It's because when they apply stand your ground, they normally use it against black people and don't want to allow black people to utilize it. And Little Tim have every right if those three characteristics I just mentioned occurred. And I already showed you basically one, King Von said something to him in the club. Two, off-duty police was there, let's say they didn't take him into custody. So the fact that they didn't take him into custody and he got shot proves more than likely the police may have not have shot him. Because he would have been taken into custody. Police know who they shoot. You think they're not going to shoot the guilty party or the suspects? And who did they say at first got shot? By police, King Von. They said he got switched up, so that tells us police was aiming at who? King Von's entourage. And the fact that he's not a native to Atlanta or Georgia, Tim should automatically have stand your ground rights based on King Von being from Chicago, coming to that area, screaming at him on the mic in that area. He got every right to be at that club, dog. He has every right to be at that club. King Von don't have the right to turn a club against a customer that wasn't even thinking about them. He screamed on them for having a shirt on, and he overstepped his boundaries. So the third reason is because Georgia is a stand your ground, or whether he got lawyer money and they make that argument will determine if Timothy Leeks walks or goes to jail for the murder of King Von. But I tell you, based on just looking at it and the prima facie evidence, the police shouldn't have even arrested Little Tim. If it's the way that we're thinking it was, King Von said what he said. King Von and them could have even rushed them as they was leaving the club, like, oh, he just did some fuck shit. Let's be out. Then King Von rushed him, and that's what we see on video. And the rest is self-explanatory. You see Little Tim get in a private car and go to the hospital. Who did the police arrest out there? Who did the police shoot out there? Because we all know that it already has been determined there was a police-involved shooting. Who got shot? It couldn't have been Little Tim. How you get shot by the police and get taken to a hospital in a private car? No. It's more than likely somebody that was in King Von's entourage, and these off-duty police saw it start from the beginning to the end. And those are the three reasons Little Tim, a.k.a. Timothy Leeks, might win his case.
Planet of the Fakes Hollywood. And Pigstar HH News. What stand your ground really means. A new book traces the legal history of self-defense in America and shows how laws for self-protection have been generally reserved for whites. Stand Your Ground: A History of America's Love Affair with Lethal Self-Defense. Stand Your Ground: A History of America's Love Affair with Lethal Self-Defense. Kai Peterson was walking home in the small city of Americus, Georgia, when a man knocked him unconscious, dragged him to an abandoned trailer, and started raping him. His brothers heard him screaming, burst into the trailer, and pulled his rapist off him. Peterson, a 20-year-old black transgender man, had been raped before. Since then, he had purchased a gun. As his rapist charged at him, Peterson took the gun from his backpack, pulled the trigger, and killed him. Less than a year later, in a gated community in Sanford, Florida, 28-year-old George Zimmerman spotted a black 17-year-old named Trayvon Martin walking home in a hooded sweatshirt. Zimmerman called the cops to report a suspicious guy who appeared to be up to no good or on drugs or something. During the call, Zimmerman started following Martin, first in his car, and then on foot. Shortly thereafter, during a physical altercation in which Zimmerman received minor injuries, he fatally shot Martin, who was unarmed. Both Peterson and Zimmerman live in states with stand your ground laws that allow people to use violence in response to a reasonable fear of death or serious injury. Both men claimed to be defending themselves, but Peterson was sentenced to 20 years in a women's prison, and Zimmerman walked free. In her timely and far-reaching new book, Stand Your Ground, historian Caroline Light takes the two cases as emblematic of America's self-defense culture, which, in theory, celebrates a universal right to violent self-defense, but in practice places strong restrictions on who gets to hurt whom, and which fears get sanctioned as rational. Disparities on this front have a long history in America. In the body of English common law on which American jurisprudence was based, there was a strong duty to retreat. Before meeting violence with violence, and certainly before killing your attacker, you first had to make an honest effort to simply get away. The one exception, known as the Castle Doctrine, held that, if you were attacked in your home, the duty to retreat evaporated. If you fought back, the law would protect you, or it might, depending on who you were. If you were a slave and your owner came across your doorstep, looking to kill or rape you, the law would be little help. If you were a woman being beaten or raped by her husband, the law forbade you to fight back and barred you from testifying against him in court. Native Americans attacked at home by European colonists fought back at their own peril. Their castles were simply not as sacred as the white man's. Starting in the late 19th century, judges across the country issued rulings declaring the old duty to retreat an anachronism, one fundamentally at odds with the American frontier spirit. In the words of one ruling, self-defense was a right of true manhood. It went without saying that the true man was a white man. This was especially evident in the post-Civil War South. After Reconstruction fell apart, states across the former Confederacy quickly passed black codes that, among other restrictions, barred blacks from owning or carrying weapons. The federal troops who had enforced racial progress at gunpoint packed up and went home, and the killing of blacks by whites skyrocketed. In those rare cases where the judicial system got involved, white juries and white judges were almost always willing to believe white killers' claims of self-defense. Light deftly analyzes how this lopsided treatment has survived in our legal system, and also in the distortions that help define the historical memory of white America. Our schoolbooks and television specials are full of valorizing treatments of white men who greet potential threats with guns blazing, but the only black Americans who get to wear the halo of historical righteousness are those who can be identified, in hindsight, as having practiced what gets called nonviolent resistance. This double standard remains the case despite reams of scholarship documenting how the venerated nonviolent nodes of the civil rights movement had an intimate, even existential, reliance on gun-toting collaborators for safety. Thank you very much. Go to www.amer-eca Planet of the Fakes Hollywood and Pigstar News. Georgia mayors ask legislature to repeal Stand Your Ground law. 10 Georgia mayors have sent a letter to General Assembly asking them to repeal the state's Stand Your Ground law. Under Stand Your Ground laws, a person can say they acted in self-defense and had no duty to retreat during a confrontation with someone else. The letter was signed by the mayors of Atlanta, Savannah, Augusta, Athens, Clark, Decatur, Norcross, Milledgeville, Waycross, Fairburn and Stockbridge. Any change in the law would have to be addressed when lawmakers return in January. Stand Your Ground laws upend centuries of traditional self-defense doctrine and threaten public safety by encouraging armed vigilantism, allowing a person to kill another person in a public area, even when they can clearly and safely walk away from the danger, the mayors said in the letter. Several Democratic lawmakers have decried the law in the months since video of the shooting death of Ahmaud Arbery, who was followed and killed by 3 men in the Brunswick area in February, was made public. Rovina Billingsley, a volunteer with the Georgia chapter of gun control group Moms Demand Action, also urged the legislature to consider repealing Stand Your Ground. Billingsley's cousin, Jasmine, was shot and killed by a man who used the Stand Your Ground defense and was acquitted. So-called Stand Your Ground laws encourage people to shoot first and ask questions later, and they enable these killers to get away scot-free, especially when they kill black people, Billingsley said. State Sen. Nikema Williams and State Representative B. Nguyen, both Atlanta Democrats, symbolically filed Senate Bill 515 and House Bill 1190, respectively, last week that would strike has no duty to retreat from self-defense law. Bills introduced this late in a legislative session are unlikely to receive any traction this year. Democratic lawmakers said they plan to pursue several pieces of legislation when they return next session that address criminal justice, including the repeal of Stand Your Ground and citizens arrest laws. Augusta Mayor Hardy Davis Jr. called repealing the Stand Your Ground law is essential in the current social climate, with national protests in response to racial injustice and police brutality. Thank you very much. Go to www.amer-eka.com.
Let's see. Yeah, you're supposed to want to be out of here. It says legislators have been pushing to change Georgia's stand your ground law for years now. The law was enacted in 2006 and allows Georgians to use deadly force to defend themselves, other persons, or property based on a reasonable belief. And this is the thing, on a reasonable belief, and that's subjective as hell, that such force is necessary to prevent death, bodily injury, or a forcible felony. Before that, the law said that only victims of a crime were allowed to use lethal force. Just last month, 10 Georgia lawyers sent a letter to the General Assembly asking for the state stand your ground law to be repealed. I wonder why. Maybe it's because Jake will start doing this and they don't want that. All right. It says those efforts were partially because, as NBC News reported, concepts such as danger and fear, even who is the aggressor and who has the right to self-defense, are often manipulated or blurred in real life by race. See? So this is going to be a test case for them, specifically for this point right here. Those efforts were partially because, as ABC News reported, concepts such as danger and fear, like I said, is subjective as hell. Even who is the aggressor and who has a right to self-defense are often manipulated or blurred in real life by race. See, they don't want that turned around on them. So they're going to try to, as they do, manipulate the laws, which is their own laws. You know, they're always making amendments and shit to cover their own ass. This is what they do. All right, so I'm coming up on my time here. So it says the case for granting bail and stand your ground cases seem to be much more clear in neighboring Florida, where neighborhood watch volunteer George Zimmerman killed unarmed black teenager Trayvon.
Bullets through your neck in the club, screaming out who on it. Fill my package with bags. I got some pounds on the couch, the chopper right by the fence. I just got
ain't fuck up about shit. What? Oh, yo, skinny ass, so I bet that bitch an ass. Fuck young boy talking about on this song, bro.
What?
He talking crazy on this man.
Oh, yeah?
He ain't even like that.
Oh!
On his ass now.
On his
All that
ass.
cap. You got cap in your raps.
Go straight, boss. Don't hit the white lady.
You got cap in your raps.
Park right here. Stop. 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 No. We presidential park.
Play out this man. Let me out. It's
Go
hot
right
in
here,
this
boy.
bitch.
Let us out this bitch. We'll be right back. Don't move.
Come on, blow with that thing.
That thing. What? Thing.
I ain't taking a picture. They motherfucker run up on me, blow their ass down. My mama. Damn.
Man, you stupid bitch. Hey, you lucky I don't want to speak on that. Boy, you better stay in your place. These niggas hoes, man. Man, you is a bitch. This nigga gonna say, I cooperated with the police. Man, you stupid bitch. Hey, you lucky I don't want to speak on that.
He did say that shit. Smoking. Well, they just killed your best friend and you was just chilling. He did say that shit.
All exotic rappers. Hello. What you want? Wait, hello. Which one y'all want? Y'all want Vaughn? Vaughn! Crazy story rap right there. Y'all want Melvin? Nah, y'all want Troy. Troy. We smoking Vaughn out the P today.
What up, y'all? Planet of Fakes, King of Content. Thank you for looking at my video. And also, I need y'all to basically follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is it ain't even POTF. It's just planet_of_the fakes. Planet_of_the fakes. Subscribe to all my channels too. Mainly Planet of the Fakes, Umbrella Corp, POTFS, Planet of the Fakes Women Group, Planet of the Fakes 4KDZ, and make sure you like us on Facebook. Just put POTFS Global News. Thanks for watching our video, and definitely make sure you visit www.amordashika.com/TV, and that's basically where you see thousands of videos on our website, unflaggable, uncopyrightable. You could be there too. Just get your content together. King of Content, Queens of Content, Planet of Fakes too. We are a platform. With that being said, what you heard and saw was the content. For additional content, click the link in the description. Like, follow, share, subscribe, comment, hit the bell, visit my community wall, and if you have time, go to www.amordashika.com/TV. That's our Planet of Fakes too. We are the new umbrella, Planet of. And I wanted to bring some things to your attention. Oh, you know I'm going to follow that. You know I'm going to follow that. I'm going to follow that. Oh, I'm definitely going to follow that. I'm following that. I'm following that. Following that. Skip, 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 skip. Skip, 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 skip. Oh, I'm following that. 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 Oh, I'm following that. I'm following